I'm Narelle Todd.
And I'm Essie Susan Smith.
We are the self-publishing author and marketing duo that has sold over 2 million books. But we didn't start out knowing how to sell books. Fast forward past many failed promotions and a lot of lessons learned, you will see how we went from self-publishing newbies to hitting the New York Times bestsellers list and making the USA Today bestsellers list 19 times and counting. We created the Get My Book Out There podcast to give you simple yet effective marketing strategies to increase readership and book sales so you know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, as well as some tips for staying mentally and physically well.
Let's get started.
And we have a doozy for you today. I love these ones. We're going to be talking to you about an organizing style. So for those of you who may not be aware, each one of us have a certain way that we like to get organized. Unfortunately, in our world, we have been told that the way to be organized is, that spick and span, the clear, minimal look, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I love the minimal look. And I happen to be a bit of minimalist, so it fits me perfect. But that's only one of the organizing styles. There's so many, and I want to talk to you today about one which I find is really prevalent with authors. And so this may help you be organized. So are you ready, Susan?
You notice that she pinpoints me because she knows I'm like the opposite. I am like the mad chaos type of organizer. And it really helped me, as she's going to explain to you, realize that my style of organization works for me. Yeah. And when I try to go to the minimalist one, which is my husband, we are definitely like the odd couple. He would have like 2 plates in the house. I have to have, like 8, and then a bunch stashed in case we have company come over. And so we're just like yin and yang, the odd couple, you name it. But what Narelle's going to share has really, really helped me understand that just because I organize this way doesn't mean it's wrong. So give it to him, Narelle.
Exactly. So first of all, let's just define what is organized. And it basically is that you can find what you want when you need it. And there are going to be people who like to be have everything in sight. And there are going to be those who like to have their things away, as in out of sight. And typically what I find for a lot of authors and a lot of creatives, they like to have their things visible or in sight. And of course, what that does is create this tension with other people who think that being organized means you've got a clear desk. For goodness sakes, organizations have clear desk policies because that somehow means that we're more effective. And creative people know that that's absolute garbage. You can have your desk littered with stuff and still be really creative, very productive. So firstly, I just want to say, recognize if this is you and just celebrate that and be okay with it. And if somebody tells you that you're doing it wrong, kick them out the door. They don't know what they're talking about. So let's just have a look. And I just want to, I guess, unpack this notion of being organized with your stuff being visible, because yes, we do live in with other people, so we do need to kind of control some of the chaos that perhaps is what they see. And also for ourselves, when we have a lot of stuff out, we can also get a bit overwhelmed by it. So I'll share with you some ways that you can bring some order to that, but still have your stuff out. So I always say that I could rule the world if you gave me a Ziploc bag or a like a plastic wallet. I'm not sure what you guys would call them. Is that what it's a plastic
file folder?
Okay, so that's really what you need. So one thing that I say to people, for people who like their stuff out, you can think of things like trays. And you have a tray for, say, could be writing notes, a tray for stuff that you're learning, a tray for your account. And you don't even have to, the most you have to worry about is sorting it into a tray. So you don't have to do anything else. So all you have to do is go, okay, that's my account tray. I'll just put the accounts in there. And they just sit in there. You don't have to alphabetize or do anything else to it. Just put them all in there. If you don't have a tray, use a box, use a plastic sleeve, use a Ziploc bag. But what you want to do is put like with like. And that way you then know if you need an account, you just need to go to your account tray or box or wallet, and it's there. The same with your writing notes, the same with anything that you have. So I like to call it the piling method, where you actually are creating piles, and you know what's in the piles. You may want to put a label on it to help people, who come in and go, oh my God, your desk is so messy. What do they know? But if you put a label on it, it also helps your brain remember what's in there, because you may forget, particularly if you have a lot of piles. But what you're wanting to do is creating a system for you that works for you. You need to have your stuff out, but you also have to remember that you're living with other people. If you have a window open and you've just got, piles of paper, the wind comes in, or you turn the fan on, woof, there goes your piles.
I've done that.
I've seen that happen. So that's why I suggest put them into some kind of container, but a container that you can see into, because part of what gives you reassurance is the fact that you can actually see things. And what you will find is if you put things away, so the traditional way of, putting things into a filing cabinet or, those sorts of techniques actually cause inner stress, because you can't actually see your things. And part of the reassurance for this organizing style is that you can actually see it. That's why you need to have it out. That's why stuff is all over your desk. You had a look on your face.
Okay. Your internet, you're freezing up.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was really, really good. And then you froze and you couldn't hear what you were saying. And then it sort of came back and it was like you were moving in slow motion.
Oh. Bugger. So the thing for you to remember, you like to be able to see your things. That gives you reassurance. When you put your things away, you always are doubting where stuff is. And that's going to create an inattention, and that's not good for creativity. So just to go back to that point, you need to accept that this is your style. You need to be able to say to other people, this is the way I'm organized. I can find what I need when I need it. So I'm organized. Leave me alone. And then put into play something that's going to work for you. I've seen people use really bright colored trays, because that kind of color explosion really helped with their creativity, because, they love color. As I say, I use plastic sleeves or plastic wallets, because they're just so super easy. You can see what's in them, but they're contained. I can just stack them wherever I need them. So what works for you is the first thing to have a think about. And then put like with like. So, put all your accounts together, put your notes together, put other bits and pieces together, and put them into their own individual thing. Put a label on them so that other people know what belongs there. And you've got your organizing system. It's in sight, but it looks reasonably organized to other people. So they're not going to give you a hard time. And give it a go and just see if that's something that will work for you, rather than this structured approach of putting things into suspension folders with a nice little label on it, in a filing cabinet. Who's got time to do that anyway? Even setting that system up takes hours, and you're not going to keep going with it, because it's almost like there's too much detail in that kind of system for it to interest you, or to be something that you're willing to maintain. And that's what you need to do. Set in place a system that you'll maintain.
I'm glad that you pointed out about the frustration level, because I've tried to organize in ways that somebody else wanted me to organize. And by the time I got done, I couldn't find anything, and I was in tears, because before it was like I could put my hands right on it. I knew exactly where it was. And now I'm spending an hour searching for something that, before I knew where it was at. And it's like I don't have that time, which adds to my anxiety. So yes. I think talking to you, that's what really, really helped me understand that what made, like you said, be chaotic to somebody else is my way of organizing. Their way of organizing actually is very stressful to me, because I can't find anything. Exactly. And you've got to be gentle on yourself when you finally recognize this is my style. I know you asked me where this is, I could point exactly to where it's located at. And, if you want me to put everything in these file folders and put them in the file cabinet and, put this here and this on this shelf or take it out away from where I need it, then you're not helping me. You're making it more difficult.
Yes. Yeah. I have seen people use the plastic sleeve, plastic wallet idea, and then, they've got all their stuff in it and then they pin it up on a cork board.
Yeah.
So they can still see it, but it's off their desk.
Yeah.
So it's compromises like that, which may work for you, depending on your home situation. If you've got, say, a partner or something who's really affected by what is your seeming chaos because you have everything out and they don't like that, you may need to have a look at, well, what are some other ways that you can adapt your style to suit? So it could be keeping stuff off the desk, but, you put it up on a wall, or you get some trays that are vertical. So you use your vertical space and you slot things in there.
All right.
So you just have a think of what's the principles that work for you. When you naturally can find what you want, what does that actually look like for you? And then go with that idea and go, okay, well, do I need to adapt this, or can I just continue, to use this and just accept that this is my style and be okay with it? And if it's something that, for whatever reason, you need to create a different way of doing it, but still the same way. So as I say, you might want to use your vertical space rather than have it spread out on the desk. You may not have a big desk, so you can't actually, spread enough as you may want. It could be any number of reasons. But it's the core concept still remain that you need to see your things to be comfortable, and you need to be able to put like with like.
And don't be afraid if you have to cordon off a small section of a room and maybe put, a divider or something in there and just let them know, this is my space. You can't see it unless you walk through this one little section or something. But, if you've got to do that or take over, if you've got an extra room or something that you can do it with. But, if you have to, just let them know, this section, this is mine. This is off limits to you to criticize or say anything.
Yes.
And just know I'll keep everything else spotless the way you may enjoy it. But this is my den, to do what I need to do to be productive.
Yeah, absolutely. So it very much depends, what's going on for you in your environment as to how you adapt and work this out. The core message here for you is accept your organizing style, accept it's different, and that's okay. Society has said to us, organizing is this minimalist, it's clear, it's the showpiece home. We know that's not the case. The very first step is for you just to be able to say, this is who I am, this works for me, and I'm okay with it. Then you can put some strategies in place to, get yourself a bit more organized by, as I say, putting like with like, and then putting them in some kind of container that you can still see what's in there, because that gives you the reassurance and you can get on with being creative. That's really the core of everything, is how do you put in your systems to actually help you do more of what you love to do. You're here to write. You're not here to file. Who wants to file? Why would we want to do that? But the beauty is that you're going to be able to find things now at the drop of a hat. You know where everything is, and you're perfectly okay with the way that you do that.
Absolutely brilliant advice as usual.
Rightio. Well, let us know if you put anything into play here. What's changed for you in the way that you get organized, or you may be continuing to do what you do and you just are accepting yourself that you like to say have everything in sight and visible, which is perfectly okay. Thanks, everyone.
And remember, make today the day. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. We've got way more information we want to share with you to increase your book sales. So please come and join me at facebook.com. Get my book out there.